I would like to share a few experiences that I had closely and like to talk about a few possibilities that shows the kind of exciting world where we're living today. So I will start the story with this fisherman. I took the picture in 2005 before I started a company called Cell Bazaar. If he catches a fish like this, that's his lucky day. But finding a market or a buyer or a consumer for this fish, you have to be luckier. Because he lives far from the market, and even if he lives near the market, he doesn't have access to the market all the time. And taking the fish all the way to the market, it may not stay fresh. So what do you do about this guy? That was the genesis of Cell Bazaar, the company I'll tell you about a little bit. But before telling about Cell Bazaar, let's talk about country like Bangladesh, where I come from. It has lots of limitations, but in one area, Bangladesh and many developing countries have done fantastically well, is mobile phones. There are 75 million mobile phones in Bangladesh. Each of this mobile phone is actually a small computer. It has a screen, it has keypads, it has battery, and most importantly, all of them has wireless. Not every laptop has wireless in the world. Now, at the same time, apparently each of these, I hear that in 1969, when man went to moon, the kind of computer NASA used to use, a less than $20 mobile phone has more computing power than those NASA computers. So in that sense, a country like Bangladesh right now has 75 million mobile phones. That means 75 million NASA computers. That's a tremendous computing resource. Now let's think about this. Let's go back to the fisherman story. So there are 75 million mobile phones. Let's assume that there's at least 1% of the mobile phone users are fishermen. So then we have 750,000 fishermen using mobile phones in Bangladesh. And if 1% of those fishermen can use a system where somebody can post using their mobile phone that this is the fish I want to sell, and somebody can open their mobile phones and open up saying this is the kind of fish I'm looking for, we're creating a marketplace that is tremendous. 1% of the users of such marketplace is going to create or post 7,500 posting every day. That's more than fish all of us can eat in our entire life. So that's what I did. I created a marketplace, and once you created that, people started posting oil tanker. People started posting German Shepherd. People posted red chili. And at the end of the day, 4 million people came to use it. All started from an SMS at the beginning. And when you have 4 million people, there's a way to make money out of this. And that's what the entrepreneur does. We create something, and then the exciting thing starts happening. So that's the story about the Cell Bazaar. Let's move to the next one. There are 160 million people in Bangladesh, and apparently all the trades are happening most of the time among the unbanked people. Cash. People are just, people sending money home. People are sending, people are buying, people are doing small little trading. The tomato seller is giving money cash. Apparently, $64 billion worth of taka is exchanged every year by hands. $64 billion. So the idea was to create a mobile phone-based banking, because again, I told you, each and every mobile phone is like a small computer. So if I can send money from my computer to your computer, I should be able to send money from my cell phone to your cell phone. Okay? And if you can create that, a poor person can have a bank account, can transfer money, even save. And just to make sure that I don't understate the complexity of this setting up this thing, this is a fairly complicated things. You can see all these arrows, this happening, that happening. These are all the players that are involved in making something like this. Central bank is involved, coming up with pragmatic regulation. Legal compliance is there. Banks are coming. Mobile operators, technology. I'm working with the largest NGO in the world called BRAC. It's a fantastic NGO support they're providing. A team to deliver this thing, distributors, agents, confidence building, finding customers, creating awareness, and giving them education. But once you do all this thing, the users don't have to worry about this thing. That's the worry of the entrepreneur, that's the worry of the regulators. But once you create this thing, money goes home instantly to your loved ones. And when something like this happens, we are witnessing technology leapfrogging 1,000 years in one step. And it's happening right now in Bangladesh. It happened in Africa. It's happening in probably many other countries in the world as well. This kind of initiative, whether it's this initiative called bKash or Cell Bazaar, this kind of thing should be happening all over the world. Perhaps better alternatives of this. These are the rudimentary development of this, but in the coming years, there will be many, many, many more innovations like this. And I would now like to talk about some of the other innovations that can really change our lives. Small power, apparently this is a nightclub. I'm just feeling a bit hot, so I'm going to take my jacket off. So small power is very expensive. The way the rich people pays for electricity, in poor countries, per unit, it's far more expensive. Among many things that contribute to the expenses is collecting money from the user makes it even more expensive. So if you can collect it some other way, if somebody doesn't have to travel 10 kilometers going and coming back, it makes things a little safer, faster, cheaper, and more efficient. Apparently, it's possible to put a $10, it's not apparently, it's actually happening, a $10 equipment with a SIM card that solves the bill collection. Like the way SMS comes to our phone, the utility provider will receive an SMS that this month, this much power has been consumed. And that's where the billing takes place. We can put a $2 equipment on top of a mobile phones, and the way we go to an eye doctor and check our different lenses and see where we see the right vision, a $2 equipment can collect all the information via an SMS, can send it to an eye doctor, and your glasses will be ordered. Things like, without this kind of things, in the past, people travel 100 miles to go to a eye doctor and get the right prescription. Another innovation is taking place, and we are all talking about on the mobile phone area. There's so many other things, other innovations, that we need genetically modified seed people use that gives high yield. People don't have the knowledge about this because these are not traditional seeds, how to use them the best way. At the germination moment, you need to have the right knowledge at what temperature, what humidity this seed needs to be germinated. You can send a 1-cent SMS, and the productivity is going to go up by $1,000 or even more if the seed is germinated at the right moment in the right time, in the right place. So when we look at all these possibilities, there is absolutely no shortage of innovation. What we need is the audacity to take part into this thing. My fisherman is to believe that I can do this thing. I have all the tools to do this thing. I have my mobile phone. I have my knowledge. I should be using it. So again, I come back to the fisherman. See, it was a bit absurd, even 10 years ago. If we say that an illiterate person will be using his mobile phone, doing this and that. But there's a tremendous paradigm shift is taking place right now. Illiterate he might be, but he is no less intelligent. After all, brain power is equally distributed. Illiterate he might be, but his son, his daughter, his brothers, they are not illiterate anymore. They can post the fish on their behalf. There's a tremendous change is taking place. It's better to recognize that, and it's better for that person to really understand this thing and jump onto this thing and take the ride and really feel that I can take part into this thing. What I learned from the Cell Buzzer experience, that the real challenge was not the technology, was making this person understand that you can actually use this technology. It is not for the rich person only. You, as a small man, you're a small farmer, just do it. It will be shown on a web page. Somebody sitting in Geneva or somebody sitting in San Francisco will be able to see you. That is the most important thing, is them understanding. Everything else hasn't taken place so far. Technology is there, okay? And if you follow the Moore's law, it's going down at a speed that will be even cheaper tomorrow. And cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as you move faster. Now, when you talk about innovation, there is no place where innovation is needed more than where I come from, Bangladesh. In fact, in Bangladesh, innovation is spelled with S-U-R-V-I-V-A-L. Okay. We are a country of water. In fact, I find this water lily symbolizes Bangladesh. It's a national flower very well. A beautiful object made of a bunch of petals, barely floating on water. So is the country. A nation of 160 million people, vibrant, young population, barely floating on water. We get the water from everywhere, from the cloud, and the entire Ganges water resource from the Himalayas passes through Bangladesh. If you look at the map, you will see the Brahmaputra from the left and Ganges from the right is carrying the entire Himalayan water through Bangladesh. Now, what will happen if this water supply changes a bit? I am not a climate expert. Many of you are. But you don't need to be an expert to understand what is going on here. 60 years ago, the black and white pictures were taken, and the colored one was taken recently. Many of the glaciers, which is feeding the Ganges and the Brahmaputras, are drying up. And you can see the differences. Each of the small little cone that we see over there is actually 30-story building size object. Okay. And it's not about just drying up. The point is, additional 500 million people will be living there in next 60 years in Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, and China, and Nepal. So the issue is, how do you address this problem to this huge population we're talking about? I don't know the solution, but I can see that something like mobile phones, which can reach billions of people, can probably play a very important role in maintaining the balance. Otherwise, we're talking about catastrophe that's going to impact socially, politically, economically at a level that we have no idea how to handle it. Innovation is actually happening. In the coming days, even within 6 months to 1 year, you will start seeing there will be some telephones will be coming, which is even applying artificial intelligence. Your past behavior, whom you call, how you call, what you did, will be predicting your future behavior. When that kind of innovation takes place, we don't know what are the solutions that's going to come out of this thing. So there's no end of the solution. Solution is not is how we execute the solution. When do you really see it? That this is what applies us most. what applies in Bangladesh would not be applying here. At the same time, what could be applied in Bangladesh may not be applying here, but what could be applied here may not be applying there. So finding the competitive advantage. It's like Bangladesh is the country of 160 million people. Well, we need to find a solution that works with 160 million people. Okay. I want to end my talk with a small little story. I learned it from my brother, older brother. The story is about a noble man who served his community well, who did fantastic thing for, for the community, prayed all his life. So there's a flood coming to that place. And people come to him and says that, sir, we better leave. There's a flood coming. And he says that, don't worry, son, you go, you take care of yourself. God will save me. I have served him well, I've served my community well, I'll be fine. These people leave. A next bunch comes after a few hours, and they said that, please get into the boat. There's a flood coming, it's going to destroy everything. He said, my son, don't worry about it. You guys go take care of yourself. I'll be fine. He will take care of me. Finally, third group comes. At that time, water is almost at his doorstep. And he says the same thing, guys, take care of yourself. I'll be fine. I'll be all right. That group goes as well. And then flood really comes as high as tsunami, and everything gets inundated, and people all die. He also dies. But he served the humanity well. He goes to heaven. And at the heaven's door, God is welcoming everyone. And God says, welcome, you made it. And he said, yeah, thanks. And God said, what's going on? Why are you so upset? He said, well, I served you so well. And I've done every right thing in my life. But at the day of my need, you did not come to rescue me. And God said, what are you talking about? I mean, I sent 3 groups of people to save you, and you said I didn't help you. So the essence of this story is we look for grand solution. You're looking for Moses. The Red Sea will be cleared up and all this. But actually solutions are coming every day in a small size, and our job is to identify the solution. And when you find the right one, grab it and go for a ride. Thank you. Thank you very much.